is Theme Park Bazza with...
This is Bazza.
This is Theme Park Bazza from Morecambe. Welcome to Orlando, Florida. We are at a secret testing location, as Top Gear used to say, that is just off one of the junctions of the I-4 in Orlando, Florida. But we are here today to talk to you about the title of this vlog, which is Why I Sold My Tesla After 9 months. Yes, Red 5, which was the name of my Tesla, Model 3, 2022, has gone. Gone. Into that trading in the sky. And in this vlog, we'll tell you why, what our thoughts were about it, why we traded in after such a short time, and what we have bought instead of that. But I want to take you back a little bit in this story. So when we came here to Florida, was it 3 years ago?
Nearly 3.5 years.
Nearly 3.5 years ago. We had an Audi TTS, and that was called Red 5 after, do you know why it's called Red 5?
Star Wars?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Luke Skywalker's X-Wing in Star Wars. Yep, it's called Red 5. And what I got fed up with in the past was the buying process for buying cars, because it's a nightmare, isn't it?
It is over.
It is over here in the US. Yeah, but I mean, it's like you're there for 5 or 6 hours. It's like this much paperwork. It's all a hard sell, and we bought several cars. We've been here, what, 15, 16 years now in the US, so we bought a few cars.
We've gone quite through.
Yeah, and one of the things that I was intrigued with is a thing called Carvana, which is an online, it's an app, and you buy a car. And in I think 2018 or 2019, I got my first car with Carvana, and then we got the Audi TT with Carvana. And actually, I'll show you a little clip here. This was filmed when we lived in Virginia in 2020. Nobody's ever seen this before. So if you see all the trees, that's where we had like a forest and everything behind the house. It's really nice looking at that. A lot younger version of me, talking a little bit about our buying experience of Carvana. And the thing I liked about it was you didn't interact with anybody. This was before, I think Tesla were out then, but we weren't interested in Teslas at that point, were we?
We couldn't afford Teslas.
Couldn't afford Teslas at that point. So we looked at, these are used cars from Carvana. This was a 2013 Audi TTS. I think it was about $24,000, $23,000 at the time. So let me show you that vlog and show you a little bit about the car and the process and what we thought about it. So Carvana is an online store for buying cars. It's based in the US. I'm sure there's very similar ones in the UK. First time I've really tried this. Think of it like Amazon, and I'll put some screenshots in here to show you. But basically you go through, you pick the car you want, the style you want, the price range you're into. And the downside is it's too easy, because you can go through and you can pick what you want, and it's all electronic. So you can electronically transfer your funds to them to pay for the car. They deliver the car to your house. They give you a 7-day no fault return policy, so you can ask them to take it back up to 7 days, and then they give you a 100-day limited warranty on the car as well. So I went through the process. I had a Volkswagen Beetle Turbo. I'll put the picture in here. That I'd been pricing up for a while to see how the trading was going. The one thing that attracted me to Carvana was the fact that their prices were maybe 10% higher than other places that I'd got the car priced at. So that was very attractive. So first car I went for was a very nice blue Mustang. Never had a Mustang, always fancied a Mustang. It was the 2.3 litre premium. So it came with the leather seats. It was a manual. It was only the 4-pod engine, but you know, it's a Mustang. It was a good car to start with. So I selected that, had that delivered. And here is a Theme Park Bazza top tip, is if you're going to do this, make sure you get a pre-purchase inspection done by a garage. That's somebody who's going to look at the car and put it up on a ramp and check it out, as if you're buying a brand new car, even if it's a used car. So that Mustang was a 2015 with 40,000 miles on it. Looked great, bodywork was great. When we got it delivered, there was a couple of things wrong with it. The handbrake wasn't working correctly. One of the electric windows wouldn't go all the way up. So I mean, Carvana's like any car dealer. They're turning over a lot of stock. So I expect some of these things to happen. And with a 7-day warranty, it didn't worry me too much. So I also traded in the Beetle, because when I came back a second time and got another price on the Beetle, it had gone up probably another 10%. So they were about 20% higher than other places which were paying for the Beetle. So I traded the car in, I got the Mustang, and then I took it for this pre-purchase inspection, and that's when the problems occurred, because when they put it up on the ramps and had a look at it, they said, okay, this car is rusty, very rusty underneath, brakes and suspension and everything. So I called Carvana and sent the car back, but I told them to keep the trade-in, and that worked well. I got a check for the trade-in. The only advice I would give you, or the tip is, you know, Carvana said we can't come back for a week to pick it up. I went, oh, it's okay. But then once they pick it up, it's another week to give you your money back. So what I learned from one of the delivery drivers was, you know, you can insist they come sooner at your time rather than just wait for when they have a slot, because you're going to wait 5 to 7 days and you don't get your money back in the bank until that time. So depending how much you paid for this, you could be out of pocket a bit of cash, big chunk of cash for a couple of weeks, which means you can't buy anything else. So left it at that. I kept looking at Carvana again and again and again, sort of checking in, and then I came across this Audi. Never had an Audi, had a Volkswagen before obviously. This was quite rare, TTS, at a good price, and I'll put some pictures up here of it. It looked good, there was no big dings on it. It came from Texas, which of course avoided the Rust Belt type of thing where the car might have lived. So all looked good, so went ahead and bought the Audi. The car is a bit dirty because it's been sat outside for 2 weeks at the repair shop while we've not been here, but there was a big ding in the door here that, yeah, it looks pretty good. I mean, it was a big gouge inside the door when we got it that wasn't declared by Carvana, and they paid for the repair. This is a aluminium car, so I didn't really want to touch it. And also I know it's a bit mucky and it's a bit cold this morning, but on the hood as well there was a couple of really big dings in the hood. So they've resprayed the hood, they've resprayed the door, and they have taken the dings out. Look to have done a good job. I did notice, and I don't know if I'm blaming these guys, but they haven't really cleaned up. So here's the final cost for doing this. It was Hall's Body Shop in Charlottesville. It was $16.97, 13 cents, which was picked up by Carvana. They paid for the whole thing. It was quite easy with them, the way they managed. So when we came down here to Florida, we came down on the auto train.
We did.
And we brought down, did we drive my car down? We didn't come down on the auto train, did we? The Audi we drove down.
Drove down later on when we came back.
That was it. We left the car up there to sell the house.
We brought mine down here.
Yes, we brought your
with the trailer.
your Murano down here with the trailer, which was not cheap because that's a V6 gas guzzler. And we brought that in with the trailer. Yeah, there. Then we got the train back up.
Yeah.
And then we flew back up.
I think we flew back.
And then we sold the house in Virginia, and then we drove back down in the Audi TTS. Yeah. So we're doing it like on a motorway and everything. And what happened was in 2020, as you know, COVID hit, and then things started going crazy. By 2022, used car prices here in America were crazy high, weren't they?
If you could get them.
If you could get them, yeah. I mean. And that's what intrigued me about selling the Audi. But there was one other reason that I did sell it, and I'll insert that clip first. And that is, we had a problem when we came back from England with the car, didn't we?
We did.
Flat battery, or dead battery. I mean, should be nothing, shouldn't it? Yeah, watch this.
Just a new battery. Jump start it.
Yep, yeah, no.
Easy peasy.
Not that. Have a look at this. So the car is back, as you can see. We have a new super battery. As you can see, a very expensive battery. And here are the results. The scores are in. These are the results of how much this lot cost. So let's go through this with you. So we'll have a look at what they did. They did the engine, oil filter, reset the service indicator, brake system inspection, checked everything out. Nothing else needed replaces apart from the oil and oil filter. They obviously replaced the they replaced the valve cap that I was missing off one of the wheels for zero charge. Woohoo! Yeah, zero charge. They replaced the battery and reprogrammed it. They did the alignment, and then they did the real wheel rotation and balancing. So let's talk about how much that cost. So are you sat down? I'm going to sit down on the end of the Audi here. Are you ready for this? So the actual battery replacement, including everything, was, are you ready for this? $450. So it's $129 for the battery, and then they got to do a code 276, and then a 15, and then they got to program it and everything. So basically it was $450 for a battery replacement. Now many of my friends have said, well, have you not owned a German car before? You should realize that. Well, I owned a Beetle. That didn't cost me this much. So I had to have the battery in for that. The alignment, the four-wheel check, just for the alignment was $224. And then the wheels rotate and balance was $80 just to switch all the wheels around. The cheapest part of it was the service, which came in at like $200. So the service was $200, the wheel rotation is $224. Long story short, this whole thing has cost me just over $1,000, which means I should be good for another year, but wow. apparently it's the same if you own a BMW or a Mercedes. It's the same sort of challenges you get with batteries and parts and fancy stuff. So it got me thinking, you know, I've paid $1,000 now. The car should be good for a year, but do I really want to keep this? I've had it a year now. Do I really want to keep it and pay this kind of money? We'll see. There's a cost to change and a cost to keep. So yeah, as you saw, with those kind of prices, and the fact you couldn't jump start, even the guy from AAA would not jump start it, would he? No. He was like, no, you're going to blow the computer on the car, but I told him to do it. It didn't, as you saw. But it made me think, crikey, this is a lot of money. It was $1,000 a service every time for all these spare parts. It was like, this is very expensive car. I never had a BMW, never owned a BMW, never owned a Mercedes or an Audi. And I'm like, yeah, it's a lot of money to go wrong, isn't it?
It is.
So that's when we started thinking about that, and then just going back to my prior point of the used car pricing, it was really high. When I was looking at trading that Audi, I was getting the same money to trade it in as when I bought it 3 years earlier. I've never had that in a used car before.
No.
The fact you could actually trade it in and not make money on it, but not lose money on it. So, you know, we decided that we would look at trading that in. And at the time, the hot property was Tesla. Do we go EV? Do we go EV? We weren't sure. So around Christmas time in January 2022, we test drove a Model 3 down here in Florida, actually, the Florida Mall, wasn't it?
It was.
We drove it to the Florida Mall. So here's a little clip of us doing that test drive. So wrap up thoughts. The Tesla is surprising me in a couple of ways. It's about the same speed as our Audi, though I would say it's a little bit slower, but the torque makes all the difference. But that was the base model, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The base model one, but it was very nippy. What else about it? Build quality impressed me as well. I would say the build quality was above what I expected, but maybe that's because the demo cars, and they put a lot of extra work into them. You know, you like to see demo things at the factories. I like the black interior, though I went in thinking white was the one I preferred. But Maxine is quite sensible, and the black wasn't too bad. The user interface was very intuitive, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The iPad thing, it wasn't like really hard to use. Very surprised how easy it was to do the one pedal driving. The modulation, that was, did surprise me how easy that was. So overall, yeah, it was quite a good car, I think. And again, I like the white colour as well now, as well as the...
It's like a pearl.
Like a pearl white.
Pearl.
So, yeah, we'll see. Some more information to help make a decision. And we were convinced enough after that test drive that we decided to order a Model 3 long range, red, another red one, as in Red 5, in January. But they were crazy, weren't they, trying to get hold of them?
Yeah.
I think they said originally it was going to be May, and then it ended up being June. And so we picked that up in June 2022. And here's a clip of us doing that and some of the challenges that we found with the car when we were doing the inspection and picking it up. Locked in. If inspecting after night, bring a flashlight. Yes, we are. Correct paint colour. Is it the correct paint colour, Max?
It is.
You've not got me in a shot.
It's red.
Yeah. Complete body paint job. Hinges. Think so? Yeah. Correct wheels? Yes, they are. Vehicle free of imperfections and damages. Paint, chrome, plastic, wheels and glass. Let's have a look round. Glass. How does the paint look?
It's alright. Is this one?
Go around here. Have you found one?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. It's not coming off when I scratch it.
Oh yeah. That's an imperfection as well.
Yeah.
So we weren't really impressed with the quality of the car to start with,
tin
were we?
Can.
Yeah, you.
That was my nickname.
She used to call it the tin can because it rattled a lot when we were driving it. Though you did enjoy driving it. If you watch this clip, you'll see why. Oh, God! It's like a roller coaster. What do you think? Yeah, you did like the performance of it, didn't you?
Yes, it was pretty fast.
Yes, pretty fast, even faster than the Audi.
And you know me, I like going fast.
Yeah, we all know you like going fast. But yeah, the quality, I mean, you saw the paint thing we talked about when we bought it, and then there was just things like the air conditioning used to clunk a lot, and it never really got. If it was a hot day, it would be cool.
Yeah.
But on just a day, you know, where it was kind of average, it would not cool the car down, would it?
No.
Yeah, we'd really struggle. There was little things like that, and I just accepted them. That's the Tesla experience. That's what you're going to get. But we did, you know, we as we say, we had that car for 9 months. One of the first trips we did was take it to Melbourne Beach.
Yeah, just
Took it to
try it out.
an Airbnb, which is, when we bought a car, we wanted one that would go over 200 miles, so we could go there, go back. And we got an Airbnb, and here's a small clip of me learning about charging a car on an Airbnb in 110 volts. So there's a lesson learned for the EV side. I didn't bring my 240 volt charger, which means I could have plugged it in here and the car could have been charged up in a couple of hours. The cable I have that comes with Tesla wouldn't even reach there either. I just plugged it in, and the car's currently got a 65%, and to get it to 80% is going to take 9 hours and 30 minutes. So I'll give you some idea how long so I'm getting 25% in 10 hours. But we'll leave it overnight when we come back, and we might as well get some free charge from it while we're doing that. But now we'll go in, cool off a bit, and get ready to head out again. Yeah, so as you saw, that, well, it helps if you're going on holiday in an Airbnb. It does get you there. We put 240 volt chargers in our garage at home, and we put 2 in because future we may get a second electric car, and so we put that in, and it charges the Tesla. It used to charge it in about 5 or 6 hours overnight. And that trip to Melbourne Beach, I think it went from 10% to 80% in I forget, it was in 5 or 6 hours, and it cost me something like, you know, it was dollars. It was not a lot of money. And then I guess then we never really did supercharging apart from going to Melbourne, and again we just charged it in the Airbnb. But then we had the house renovation going on.
We did.
And we decided to be out of the house. We had no option really. I say decided. We were kicked out of the house for like 2 months, living in Airbnbs again here around Orlando, and that's when we discovered the supercharging network and how good that is.
Yeah.
And here's some clip of us kind of sort of experiencing that and the ease of use of the supercharging network. If we look here now, we've got it charging. We can see the current session, how much it's charged me. We can see I'm charging at 200 kilowatts, so it must be the new ones. It'll charge fast and then drop off. He says it's got 25 minutes remaining to get me to 80%. I'm probably only going to go to 50, something like that. Well, the thing you do is you pick every other charging bay, because a lot of these chargers are actually dual. So if another car parks next to me, it cuts my charging rate in half. I used to take this home, and I used to leave it on a trickle charge all night. And now I don't. I just fill it up. We filled it to 90% actually, didn't we, 11 days ago, and we've just been running it around as we go back and forward to the house, shopping in the evening. The thing about these short trips is you get a lot better usage, because it's when you're braking, the motor's brake, so you get recharge, so it recharges the battery. So you get running around town, you don't really need such a big battery.
No.
You know, you could get away with a smaller battery, and we're already up at 30, we've gone up 10% in the first couple of minutes. So the reason we bought the Model 3 back in June 2022 was the network. We knew we could get a good network, supercharging network. There wasn't really a lot of competition around. And we like a bigger car, like an SUV, but they were so expensive.
Yeah, so we're expensive.
Yeah, I really wanted the Model Y, but that was like, for the performance version, it was like 80 grand, which was, you know, way, way more expensive than the Model 3 was. So we kind of put up with it, and we lived with it.
We lived with the rattles for a
while.
while.
We lived with the rattles, shakes, rattles and rolls, and bought all the little accessories to go in it. And then fast forward to 2023, where we are now. So a couple of things happened that had me considering getting rid of the car. The US put an incentive on of a tax credit of $7,500. Tax credit for next year you could claim on any car that was built completely in America, battery and car. So that was interesting. Second thing was that Tesla, my biggest complaints about the Tesla, if I go back to that vlog, I think back from 2022, were electric cars are too expensive, and what Tesla did beginning of this year was drop the price of all their cars tremendously.
A lot, yeah.
A lot. It was like 15 grand on the Y, 5 grand on the 3, and then because of that, all the competitors have had to drop their prices as well. So prices have come down. Second thing is, I always said Tesla for charging. But what's happened in the last month or so is a lot of the big companies like Ford and GM and Rivian, and you can bet Hyundai and Kia soon, have adapted or are adopting the Tesla charging system.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to use their chargers, the NCAS connector, which, as we saw, was very easy to use.
Very easy.
So that was it. These were all the things, the reasons why I would see adoption being hard, taking the cost of it, charging it, and you didn't really have a lot of choice when a lot of vendors around are selling different types of cars, whether or SUVs specifically. No. So that got me intrigued when Tesla dropped their prices. So it was at that point that I decided that I would look at trading my car in. I would look at getting the tax credit, getting a car that gave me the tax credit. And also I was trying to be a bit cagey and look for maybe a used car, or one that was a demonstrator that would get me a little more money off the car. And are you ready to see what we got? Shall we show them?
Yeah, sure.
We got, ta-da, another Tesla, a Model Y Performance, the one I said that I couldn't afford last year.
Yeah.
Because the price has come down. So there was 15 grand cheaper. This was a used one that was a demonstrator, so I got an extra 3 grand off that. I think there's a couple of dings on the wheels, wheel marks.
Yeah, like the
scuff marks, that's about it. And the tax credit made it a decision that I thought we'd go with.
Yeah.
And trading my car. And did I lose some money on my car, my Model 3? Yes, because all the prices have come down. Depreciation has come down on all the cars. But let's have a quick look at this Tesla, and Max can give you her impressions of this compared with the other one.
Yeah.
So this is, as we say, this is the Performance Edition, which means it has the faster motors, the bigger wheels, I say a bit of curb rash on the back one. But let's
calipers.
And the calipers. Oh yes, and no, the Maxine loves the red calipers, don't you?
Yeah.
But let's have the biggest thing on this that, well, there's a couple of things that we found about this, and I'll let Maxine talk about them as well inside, her thoughts on it. But one of the big things on the 3 has to be the space, because the big things on the Y has to be the space compared with the Model 3. So I mean, this boot in here is pretty huge. You have storage here. What did we fit in this yesterday? We
fit a bath.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was a 60-inch bath.
60-inch bath.
In the box. Yep. There's more renovations coming to the house. Stay tuned to the house vlogs. But we actually just slid in here. The gate. We didn't even have to move the front seats forward, did we? No. And there's no way we wouldn't have got that in the 3 because it's a boot anyway. But yeah. So we're really happy on the storage compared with the other car. And again, you still got the electric lock on here. What do you think about getting in and out of this one then, Max?
It's a lot easier to get in and out because it's slightly higher.
Yeah.
So
it is a lot higher, isn't it?
It's a lot higher.
Yeah.
It's easy to get in and out. We're not rolling out like we did it in the Model 3.
Even the Audi was worth it to get out on all fours, didn't we, on the Audi?
Pretty much, yeah, because we're getting old now. Yeah,
let me join you in there. So once inside the car, it's another black one like the last one as far as the trim, which we wanted because we didn't want the stained seats, did we? No. So this looks the same. You've got the much bigger sunroof in here.
Panoramic sunroof.
And what do you think of this compared with the other one?
It's a lot better quality, I think.
It's
it doesn't rattle and roll as much as the other one. It's just, I don't know, it just feels higher as well because it is higher, so it's a lot easier. But I like it being sat higher. Yeah.
And I have to agree with Max, I can't explain the quality difference in this. I don't know what Tesla have done in a year.
I don't know.
But the feel of the seats and the steering, it feels like an expensive car.
Yeah.
The Model 3 felt like a base car.
Yeah.
And it's the materials they've chosen. They've got this nice suede here on the doors. It just feels, even though this isn't any different to the last one, it just feels like a quality car compared with the last one. And they have addressed some of the issues that I used to comment on in with these software updates. Like I complained, didn't I, that the navigation wouldn't show you traffic and wouldn't give you alternate routes. Well, through software updates, that's been improved. And also the wipers are annoying, but now they've done an update where you can tap it and the wipers let you choose the speed and everything. So I would say the biggest thing that has impressed me has been the quality and the paint. Even the paint is a lot better than it was on the other one. So kudos to Tesla. So if you get that big piece of paper out the glove box, I think that is what this price was sold at in January. What was it sold at?
$73,000.
Yeah, $74,000. We paid nothing like that for this car because, like I say, they dropped the price by $15,000 and they gave the tax credit. You factor that in, and the fact that this was a used one, that's another 3 or 4 grand off. so it made it affordable even trading my car in for this. Yeah, and the performance is like it is a lot nippier even than my Model 3. It goes faster. That Maxine likes. It goes faster. So there you go. Big Red. You happy?
I'm happy.
I'm happy. And again, I can't get my tax credit till next year, but I think it has been a good investment for us. Hope you enjoyed today's vlog. We did say in the last vlog that we had a bit of a stressy weekend last weekend. I put a link to the last vlog in here. We did, didn't we? I mean, the problem is your car, your Nissan Murano that you love,
I love my car.
is a V6, which is thirsty. It's like 18 miles to the gallon.
Yeah,
if you know about Nissans and the CVT, it's a CVT gearbox, and they are not renowned for reliability. Car was pushing 7-8 years old, so we were looking last weekend to trade Maxine's in. Now the car that I would have had a go for would have been a Model 3, because the prices are down now on the Model 3 base version, but you're still not.
I don't want a Tesla.
Yeah, too common for you, aren't they?
Yeah.
Too common for your Teslas. But I think, have we converted you to electric from gas now, from petrol?
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
You see the advantages of them?
I do.
Which is mainly speed for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Acceleration.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. So we were looking last weekend for Maxine's car to trade in, but again, I would have gone for the Model 3. So we looked at the base Model 3, looked at some pricing, yeah, we'll see how we go with that.
Yep.
So there we go, we're going to wrap up the vlog. Thanks for watching. Appreciate each and every one of you. If you like what we do, please like and subscribe, and we will catch you
later.
Yeah, that's another story to come. See you later. Bye.